Imagine waking up tomorrow, walking outside, and realizing something strange. The ground is quiet. No trails of tiny black lines marching across sidewalks. No anthills poking through the dirt. Every single ant gone, instantly vanished. Now that might sound like a small change, right? They're just ants. But here's the shocking truth. If ants disappeared, the world around you would start collapsing in ways you'd never expect. And there's one hidden consequence, one massive chain reaction that ILL reveal near the end. It's the kind of twist that makes you realize just how fragile our planet really is. Think about it. We usually notice ants only when they sneak into our kitchens or build a mound in the yard. But what if I told you they're like the hidden gears of Earth's engine, quietly keeping life balanced? Here's a question. Have you ever wondered why ants are literally everywhere, from forests to deserts, even in your backyard? What secret role do they play that's so important? Most scientists agree losing them would send shockwaves across the planet. So let's break it down. What happens in the very first moments after ants vanish? Imagine dropping a piece of food on the ground. Normally, within minutes, ants would swarm it, tearing it apart and carrying it piece by piece underground. Without ants, that food just sits there, rotting, multiplying bacteria. Tiny decomposers still work, sure, but ants are like the cleanup crew on steroids. They process mountains of organic waste every single day. Without them, the world would slowly turn into a giant landfill. And if you've ever had trash pile up in your kitchen, you already know how quickly chaos sets in. But here's the suspenseful twist: waste isn't the only problem. Ants don't just clean. They recycle. Every crumb they carry underground becomes fertilizer for plants. And if they vanish, soil becomes weaker, less fertile. Imagine trying to grow crops in dirt that's tired and lifeless. Within months, farmers would see the difference. Less growth, lower yields, food shortages, creeping in from the most unexpected place, the absence of creatures smaller than your fingernail. Now think bigger. Ants aren't just janitors, they're architects. Ever noticed an anthill? That's not just a pile of dirt. It's like a mini city, carefully engineered. While building these tunnels, ants turn and mix the soil like nature's plow. Without them, the ground becomes compacted, harder, less able to absorb water. Floods become worse. Seeds struggle to sprout. Soil health crashes. It's like losing the foundation of your house. You don't notice until the walls start cracking. But here's where things get even darker. Ants are also hunters. Every day they eat endless numbers of pests, termites, caterpillars, crop destroyers. Without ants, insect populations explode. Think about it. Billions of extra bugs chewing through plants, trees, and even your food supplies. Could humans step in and replace that natural control system? Not really. Pesticides only go so far. The balance ants provide is priceless. And here's a playful riddle for you. If ants vanished, who would eat the termites before they ate your house? And don't forget their food themselves. Birds, reptiles, frogs, even other insects rely on ants as a snack. No ants, and suddenly their diets collapse. Imagine removing one card from the bottom of a tall tower. Slowly, piece by piece, the whole structure falls. That's ecosystems without ants. The ripple keeps spreading until it reaches us. Now, you might be wondering, would humans actually feel the difference in daily life? The answer is yes, faster than you'd think. Trash buildup, weaker soil, crop damage, pest infestations, it all translates into fewer resources and higher costs. Everyday life would start to feel heavier, like running a household with no cleaning crew, no repairs, and endless breakdowns. And here, as a little curveball, scientists have calculated that ants collectively weigh almost the same as all humans on Earth. Let that sink in. Billions upon billions of them, balancing nature quietly. Remove them, and it's like ripping the wiring out of a massive machine. It might not fail instantly, but when it does, the damage is catastrophic. Now, let's push to extremes. Could humanity survive long-term without ants? Some people might shrug and say, we'd adapt, we'd find a way. But here's the myth I want to bust: humans can't just replace ants. Models disagree on exact numbers, but many scientists argue ecosystems would collapse in under a century. That's faster than you'd expect. And here's the myth: ants are useless pests. The truth: they're among the most important keystone species alive. Keystone meaning remove them, and the entire arch of nature falls. Remember that hidden detail I teased at the beginning? Here it is. Without ants, the Amazon rainforest itself might die. Why? Because ants are the #1 seed planters in those forests. They carry seeds, bury them, and help trees sprout. Without ants, vast sections of the rainforest wouldn't regenerate after damage. And if the Amazon suffers, the oxygen we breathe, 20% of Earth's supply goes with it. So losing ants isn't just about messy kitchens. It could mean losing the lungs of the planet. Now, here is a question to leave you thinking. How often do we ignore the tiny things that literally keep us alive? So, let's recap quickly. Ants. Disappearing means waste piling up, soil becoming lifeless, pests running wild, food chains collapsing, and even rainforests gasping for air. And all of this caused by creatures so small you probably squashed one without a thought today. That's the magic of these what-if questions. They show us that even the tiniest players make the biggest difference. So if you found this eye-opening, you'll want to subscribe, because we dive into the hidden gears of reality every week. And speaking of tiny creatures with massive impacts, here's a teaser for the next video. What if bees disappeared? Ants keep the ground alive, but bees keep the skies blooming. Imagine both vanishing. Would humanity even stand a chance? So hit that subscribe button, drop your guess in the comments, and stick around. Because the next What Happens If might just change how you look at every flower, every seed, and maybe even the sandwich on your plate.